On yesterday on Afternoon Drive, and the guys asked Albert Breer about it. Albert Breer said, yeah, it's he's like, I told you last week. So I think they might ask him every single week until he finally tells them no.
I do think so. I do, but I love it. I love it. Keep asking.
Here's Breer yesterday on Afternoon Drive about Deshaun.
People have talked to me about this in very vague terms, so please take it that way. I think Watson's going to be cleared in October and November. I think it's going to be at some point in that, general time range. So you're talking about, middle of the season somewhere. He's going to be available, and then, you're probably going to come to a point where you got to put him on your 53-man roster. That means walking away from a player. Is that player one of the quarterbacks we'll see? Trading picket now sort of gets you ahead of that problem a little bit, where there's just no way you're going to carry 5 quarterbacks on your roster. So now your whole, 4 quarterback conundrum is solved for now and probably solved for later because you did feel comfortable and you had accounted for the idea that you were going to have 4 quarterbacks to begin with. And look, I think the whole piece of it about what this means as far as those guys playing, it certainly creates a clearer path for them to play. But I think the equation is still the same.
That's Albert Breer on with Afternoon Drive yesterday, talking about Deshaun Watson. By the way, the Ilkin and Barrasso story. Lime and I went golfing one time, got smashed. This was not too terribly long ago. And Pony's old producer is now the boss at 93.7. And Lime and I got smashed and decided to call and harass. They were going through some changes there, and we decided to call and harass Andrew's boss. We first called his new producer, which is Donnie Football. Mm-hmm. Donnie had no idea what was going on. No. He just thought it was some psycho who kept screaming at him. Basically, we were if you ever saw the Seinfeld episode where the guys from Houston meet the Yankees and they're on the plane saying we're 30,000 feet above your head, you bastard. That's what Lime and I looked like that day. And so we're smashed, and we call, and Lime is going, "Put on Ilkin and Barrasso, you cowards! Tom Barrasso, Tunch Ilkin."
Perfect show for Pittsburgh.
There's this pause, and Craig goes, "Tunch Ilkin passed away, you guys." "Doesn't matter. Get him on the air right now. You ain't got the sack."
So wait, you got to tell him the second part of this where we added Andrew Hody to the prank. When we had Hody, who did we have him call?
We had him called for Ilkin and Barrasso.
He called all of them over there. I'm pretty sure he called
Hody,
everyone at 93.7.
Was he trying to book Ilkin and Barrasso?
Yes, we told him to get him on by the end of the show.
We wanted Ilkin and Barrasso on by the end of the show.
And every break he came into the studio, and you just asked him, "Did you get him on yet?"
Tunch Ilkin was actually a really, really, really good color analyst. But, there you go. So that was the Ilkin and Barrasso story. And Jack Daniels story. Anywho, just real quick on Deshaun. That's where it's, the whole quarterback thing, I think you go from Joe, where it's okay, hell of a hand, veteran. I think that a lot of people just have a lot of respect for Joe. Then you get the Dylan Gabriel. I think there's this, for people who hate the media in this town, who think the media is wrong about everything, Dylan Gabriel's becoming their guy. Right. Because Darryl said nothing but bad things about him as a quarterback. Zach the same way. Lance Reisland, who's a football coach, Lance Reisland said some nice things about him.
He found some positives.
Yeah, but you had Darryl saying the ball boys were ahead of him on his depth chart. That's the truth.
Well, he's now past the ball boys.
And so now when Dylan Gabriel,
this has been
number 2 on the depth chart. Yeah.
He has passed him up.
So when you have him number 2 on the depth chart, I think people want to see him. I don't care what anybody says. You can sit there and say that you hate Shedeur all the way down and every day on, including Sunday, it doesn't matter. You guys are still curious. The 4th guy on that list, Deshaun Watson, will make people tune out. You're just going to go do other things.
Not even a car crash. Not even people wanting to see a car crash at this point.
No, I think that the majority of the fans in Cleveland are just nope, don't even care, because they don't want him to be a part of the future. They don't think he's going to be a part of the future. Now, he has every right to work, but they don't want to see him. And frankly, I don't blame him. He's a reminder of a ugly past for this football team that was only good when somebody else was playing the position. The fans are ready to move forward, either with the rookies or to the next guys who are going to be rookies, either with Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry or without Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry. To be honest with you, I think a lot of fans are like, hey, either you guys figure it out or you don't. We're moving forward. I think a lot of fans want to go forward. That's a look in the past. And good God. I mean, you got people like, wait until June 1st, wait until June 1st, wait until June 1st. They are ready to go into the future here with this football team. And he is just a look at a bad past of what could have been and what wasn't because egos got involved. On all sides, by the way. And they're just ready to go forward. I think they're Browns fans. They want to be Browns fans. And he's just a reminder of it never was. And so if he goes out there and he plays well, I don't think it's going to make a damn bit of difference to anybody involved. I don't think he wants to be here. I don't think that. I think they're ready to move on.
I think it's hard for anybody to even consider him playing or even mentally think of a scenario where he plays well now after another injury, after all this time off.
But it's amazing.
All the stuff in his head.
Like you hear the outsiders and they're like, what? This is not even a consideration. And we're over here going, oh, God, what if he does play? And again, you have Albert Breer, who's an insider but an outsider, saying like, yeah, I mean, he could come back in November and you might have a decision that you have to make depending on how the young guys play or whether or not Joe's still playing. If Joe's still playing, that means we're doing 7 in heaven again. So
we'll see where that goes. I know we're moving on. Is Deshaun Watson going to make this an issue? Is he going to continually put out videos and is he going to start podcasting again and telling people that he's feeling the best he's ever felt?
He has every single right to do it. He has every single right. I'm not going to deny him his right to work. That's not going to happen. If he wants to go and still be a quarterback, if somebody wants to pick him up, we've been through all this. He is free to work in this country and be a quarterback. If somebody's willing to pick him up, you go right on ahead and do it. I just think it's better for all parties involved, including him and everybody near and dear to him, to move on without each other. The Browns move in their separate direction with a new quarterback and a new look on things and a future that includes, the stadium in Brook Park more than likely. And Deshaun Watson moves on to whatever he's going to move on to. That's where I think that ends. Mary Kay had a typo yesterday. She wrote Donovan Mitchell instead of Donovan McMillan. Donovan Mitchell actually tweeted about it. So she was talking about the guys who made the team. And Donovan McMillan, who is from Pitt, by the way, Donovan McMillan has made the initial 53-man roster. Mary Kay had accidentally, and I think it was probably her phone autocorrected more than likely to Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, she probably texted about him.
And she probably has. And it said safety Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Would you be open to Deshaun Watson starting another game for the Browns this season? So far, early returns, Stark County in, Trumbull County rolling in, 88.1% say no. 88.1% say no. That is a lot. Okay, well, it's early.
I imagine
it's early.
What do you think the split is with the Shedeur Sanders fans? Shedeur first fan.
Should I just open up the phones? 216-474-0092. What would you do? Would you be open to him playing? Would you be upset? What would you do? Because I've said, I go, they will turn the TV off. They will not come.
And obviously,
there will be people come to the Browns games, but they're not going to.
I will say this. Isn't your season obviously in disarray if Watson were to play?
Yes.
So would there be any curiosity? Be like, all right, well, we saw this group with Flacco. Let's say he got injured. I'm just coming up with a formula. Or maybe it was 4 games and out. Okay, then they went to Dylan Gabriel, and maybe let's just say his body, he just couldn't take the contact, and then he's out. All right, Shedeur tries it. Let's just say not ready still. Maybe he needed to sit out the whole year.
No, don't say that.
And then they're like, all right, well, I'm just giving you a crazy scenario, and their record could, maybe they're sitting on 1 win or something at that point. Okay. And they're like, well, Deshaun's getting paid. He's ready to go. The players' union's going to have a problem if we don't put him out there or whatever. I don't know. I'm just coming up with a ridiculous formula. And then he goes out there and plays, or we know he's going to play. Are fans going to be like, well, okay, I'm just not watching this? Probably. Mm-hmm. I think a lot would. But wouldn't there also be a morbid curiosity? All right, we've seen 3 guys, and then Kevin Stefanski, remember, his reputation's on the line at some point.
I don't. I think that there's a curiosity about Shedeur and certainly Dylan Gabriel. Certainly Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. And Joe Flacco, I don't think there is for Deshaun Watson. Anthony, you know it and I know it. We know by the interest in the shows over these last 3 years. I mean, call it what it is. You guys don't want to see him. When things had a chance to look okay, there was like a little flicker of people who kind of wanted to get in on it. When the wheels came off, no. You don't like talking about him. You don't care for him.
Kenny, I also know how fickle
there's no other way I
fans
can
can
say
be.
it.
How it can just take a couple of first downs.
And I'm going to tell you right now,
a couple of scoring drives.
They're all fickle, and they're all going to say,
couple of scrambles.
We ain't going to get fooled again. They're going to talk themselves into, and probably rightfully so, they're going to talk themselves into all those quarterbacks I talked about. They're already getting ready for Cade Klubnik versus Garrett Nussmeier. They're already getting ready for Drew Aller versus Julian Saint, even though Julian Saint ain't coming out. But you get what I'm pointing at. That's what they're getting ready for.
Fooled again. Who's he fooled? He didn't even have... he had half a football against Baltimore.
They're not going to go, well, he counts it so much against the cap if we let him go. We can't let him go. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to go, that's your guys' fault, not ours. They don't want to see him again. And frankly, I don't think it's my own personal opinion, he don't want to be here. The only reason he wants to be here this year is so maybe he gets the chance to put something on tape to show somebody else so he can continue to get his guaranteed money. Stop looking at the YouTube chat. And then he can go ahead and he can collect his money and play somewhere else and then stick it to all of us that he still has it or whatever. He don't want to be here. And the fans don't want him out there. Shedeur Sanders every day, all day, well, every single possible way before him. Same with Dylan, same with Joe. Call Kenny Pickett back. Somebody wrote P.J. Walker, sign him.
Oh, yes.
They'd rather see Tyler Huntley come back. But the Browns, we have to always be careful in certain senses. The Browns have to be really careful because there is a players' union here, and you can't just deny him the right to be with the team. You can't do the play now thing and say that you're not welcome in the building. He has the right to be there. Go ahead and give him the right to be there. That's fine. And I don't think, by the way, he's sitting there wringing his hands like an evil villain and putting in bad ideas for Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. I don't think that because I know that there has definitely got to be language in that contract about being able to get out of that contract due to player conduct or due to actions detrimental to the team. He knows that. So what he's going to do, he's going to be at every single thing he's supposed to be at.
That's what
he's going to be a good teammate. He's going to go through that. He's going to be a good teammate and be a good guy with this football team until the bitter end, and that's the way it's going to be. And on the Browns end of things, they're going to say good things about him, and they're going to say how hard he's working, and maybe they will put him out there on the field. Maybe they're going to do it. But I don't think they're going to do it.
Like, is he going to be in quarterback meetings? Is he going to be out there trying to answer questions for the young rookies and work with them? Like, what is this going to look like?
He's going to do everything he can to look like he should be a guy that's picked up by another team in 2026. How old is he? Is he 30? Is he 30?
He's got to be right around, right?
He might still be 29.
He's 29.
He's 29 years old. When's he turn 30, Mitch?
Sometime
on September 14th.
So he turns 30. He turns 30 this season, right? Next month. So he turns 30 in less than a month. He's 30 years old. He'll be 31 years old. I mean, the way he's looking at it, he probably still thinks he has 10 years left to go in this league if he really wants it. But if he goes out there and he shows his ass and acts like a goof, then he doesn't get his money because they can try to void that. And then he ain't going to get picked up by anybody else because they ain't going to want the problems. So he can go and do all the right things, and then we can split this because I don't care about his money. It ain't my money. And the Browns, hey, you got money falling out of your pockets. Pay them. You took the hit. It's the way it went. It's a bad chapter in the history. We try to move forward. That's the way this goes. That's the best case. I thought last year at the like in January and stuff when he got hurt again. I go, okay, this is injury settlement time. This is all. And hey, they may be. You may get to after the first month of the season. They go, it's not going the way we thought it was going to go, and we're going to have to put him on IR, and then that's going to be the end of it. Okay. But at the same point, he's going to think, you know what? I don't want my career to end like this, and he may not be agreeable to something like that. So there might be second opinions and all the other stuff that gets into it. Now, that's all pure speculation. But I know, hey, man, what the Browns may want and what he may want is going to be different from the fans because I don't think this poll is going to change anytime soon.
No.
I think it's going to be so drastically against him playing.
Well, and if any of these guys actually play well, it'll just get to 100%.
Oh, well, if any of these guys play well, you ain't got to worry about it. Because then you could absolutely look everybody dead in the eye and go, Dylan Gabriel, Shador, Joe Flacco, et cetera, give us a better chance to win than we believe that the quarterback coming back with the injury. We are working because if you're Kevin Stefanski, say, God forbid, say you're 9 and whatever and Joe Flacco goes down. In a fantasy here. Say you have a good record and Joe goes down. And Deshaun's an active quarterback now. And you can go, we have a system here. These guys have learned this system. It's a different system than what Deshaun's been running over the last couple of years. We feel more comfortable right now. Because if I was sitting there talking about talent, who do I think is the more naturally talented quarterback? Is it Shador Sanders or is it Dylan Gabriel? Answer that.
Yeah, I thought Shador.
Okay, so who's the more naturally talented quarterback out of the three? Is it Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, or Deshaun Watson?
Well, you know me.
You're going to say Deshaun Watson.
I thought Deshaun was a top 5 quarterback at one point.
And you know what? I have to agree with you and say Deshaun Watson.
He's looked like a bottom
That's not what I want to say. It's what I have to say because it's the truth, Tone. So you know what I say then to that if I'm Kevin Stefanski? He may be the more talented. Is he the most ready to help us win? Because that's the same damn argument I gave everybody when it came to Deshaun Kaiser. He may be the most talented quarterback in that room. He ain't the most ready to win, and he sure as hell wasn't. Now, there were other factors there, but he wasn't the most ready to win. And you could look at it and go, Dylan Gabriel has practiced with this team. He's got the reps now. We are ready to go with Dylan. He knows the offensive system. We can't go changing around our offense. It's irresponsible to the rest of our football team. We're going to roll with Dylan. We're going to see where it's going to go. And then if Dylan goes out there and flops, you got another set of questions you have to answer there, but you can at least stave it off for a little while. Because, again, you do have veterans that you have to answer to, and if Dylan's out there and he looks like he does not know what he's doing and he's afraid, well, then you're going to have guys going, hey, get this out of here. Come on. We wanted to make the playoffs. Let's go. It ain't going to be perfect, but that's the way you can see it. But everybody's got to be nice to each other here. Everybody's got to be kumbaya between the Browns and him. He wants his money. He's got to be nice. They don't want to have to pay the fiddler on that because, remember, he has the most powerful agent in the NFL. And if they don't want to be beholden to that with other clients that he has, because, again, he's the most powerful agent in the NFL, everybody's got to be nice.
They're all playing the game.
216-474-0092. Greg and Kent, you're next up on the Fan.
Anthony, Ken, what's going on, guys?
Hi, Greg. Not much. Go right on ahead. Got Phil Steele at 920.
If we go off the rails, say we're 1-9, right. I'm all about putting Deshaun in.
Ooh.
I hope he rips off. He's going to come in, just rip off a bunch of wins, win out the season, and then we can just trade his ass. Trade him, get whatever we can get that contract out of here, and then we can start a rebuild. That's what if we're at 1-9, that's what I hope happens. Thank you, guys.
Greg, I tell you, that's a hell of a thing, because if he goes out there and he plays that well for this football team and they finish with a decent enough record, would even I kick around keeping him around?
Ooh.
I got Myles Garrett. I got Denzel. I got veterans on that team. Am I ready for a complete rebuild? Of course, when am I going to see a draft class like this again with rookies? Dave in Akron, you're next up on the Fan.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Doing well, Dave. Go right on ahead.
So, honestly, if the season ends up tanking, and let's pretend that our offensive line is like paper thin, if it's like a game of attrition and we're putting out rookies that just kind of get banged up versus Deshaun Watson and he just takes hits every day, make him earn his money. Honestly, that's the only reason I'd like to see him. Is if we're going to end up hurting Shedeur or hurting Dylan Gabriel, put him out there, earn the money. That's how I feel about it.
Dave, that's a hell of a thought, but I don't want to look at it that way, because I say a hell of a thought because it's an interesting thought, not because I want it that way, because I don't want to use the guys as a tackling dummy. I don't want to use any of the quarterbacks as a tackling dummy. When I put Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders out there, I want to see what they got. I want to see if I can keep them around. I want to see if they can compete for the job next year or compete for the job down the line, or I can turn them into a tradable commodity down the line. I mean, good God, if you do take Shedeur Sanders and turn him into a fourth-round pick, okay, that's a win. If I take Dylan Gabriel and I turn him into any modicum of a pick, considering I think he was overdrafted, I think that was a win. I think Dylan Gabriel could probably have a 7 or 8 year career as a backup in this league, probably against Colt McCoy. If I could turn them, that might be maybe not a win, but something that's better for it. I mean, I can use the quarterbacks as currency. As Andrew Barry has said before, quarterbacks are currency in this league. But I would rather put them out there. I don't want to put them out there just because, they're going to get beat up and that's going to be the end of it. I don't wish that on anybody.